My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every single week, we break down full UFC fight cards. We give you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. And our videos are brought to you by BETU Play to Earn. BETU Play to Earn is the world's first play-to-earn sports and esports betting game. Check it out now at betuearn.com. That's bet, the letter U, earn.com. And ODDSJAM. ODDSJAM.com has the fastest real-time data from all the sports books, and it helps you spot discrepancies and make sure that you hit your spots and get the best odds available for every single fight and every single sporting event. Check them out now at ODDSJAM.com. And that takes us to the most interesting fight on this card, at least in my opinion. Not the most interesting, but I love me some wrestlers. And next up at UFC Columbus, we have Sara McMann taking on Karol Rosa. Sara McMann is 12-6 overall. She's only 2-3 in her last 5, and she is coming off a submission loss to Juliana Pena over a year ago. Karol Rosa is 15-3 overall. She's 5-0 in her last 5, and she's coming off a solid win where she retired Betch Kahea. Sara McMann, if you don't know yet, she is an Olympic silver medalist wrestler. She also has great power, great takedowns, and a very straightforward game plan. She does have technical striking, but obviously she's not very comfortable striking when she's in those exchanges. If you look at her career, she has some really solid wins and win streaks, and 4 of her 6 losses in the UFC are to current or former champions. The other 2 losses are to Marion Renault and Ketlin Vieira. So all quality losses to quality opponents. She either dominates in a win or gets submitted in a loss. Her only non-submission loss was to Ronda Rousey in Ronda Rousey's prime. So that is what it is. And Ronda Rousey, also an Olympic grappler. Karol Rosa is on a tear lately. She hasn't lost since 2018. She hasn't fought the same level of competition as Sara McMann, but that isn't her fault. And she has beaten everybody the UFC put in front of her, and she's literally done her entire job. She's an okay striker, but she does have incredible volume, and she's willing to trade, but she doesn't make it ugly, meaning she'll get into a firefight, but it doesn't feel like a firefight. She just somehow comes out of those getting the better of the exchanges, even though she did put herself in harm's way. She is a decision fighter, though, but she does have solid takedowns if she wants them and solid takedown defense to keep it standing. I think this is a super tricky fight. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't love my pick. But I think this is a tricky fight because Sara McMann's record as of late it's not impressive. But she has only fought high-quality opponents, and when she can avoid being submitted, she's dominant. Karol Rosa has an insane striking volume and an incredible 91% takedown defense. I do see Karol winning every single striking exchange, but I think Sarah's able to get the takedowns, and styles make fights. I just don't think Karol Rosa has the offensive jiu-jitsu to submit Sara McMann or sweep her on the ground. And I don't think she has the power in her hands, so she'll win the striking exchanges, but I don't think she has the power in her hands to knock Sara out, which means I think Karol Rosa spends a lot of time just defending takedowns or trying to work off her back. I'm going with the underdog, Sara McMann. I'm a sucker for wrestlers, and that might be what's happening here. Don't follow the pick. Don't trash me for the pick. But styles make fights, and if I'm just looking at them stylistically, Karol Rosa doesn't have knockout power, doesn't have, submissions off her back, and Sara McMann is just going to wrestle. That's all she's going to do. Wrestle, wrestle, wrestle. So, but Karol's very good. Jacob, I know you disagree with me already, but what's your breakdown?
No, I mean, I disagree with the pick, but I don't disagree with the breakdown. I mean, that's exactly what needs to happen for Sara McMann to win. She needs to get the takedown. She needs to dominate. And she was doing that same thing to the now champ, Juliana Pena. I mean, she was dominating that fight, taking Juliana Pena down, just controlling her. And then eventually in the 3rd round, I think she got a little tired, got judo thrown, and then once she was on the bottom, she ended up getting submitted. And as you mentioned, that's kind of how she loses fights. And that gas tank is kind of what worries me. I think that the Rosa is very good. You mentioned that her on her feet, she's a very technical striker. She's got kind of like that Muay Thai, and that actually what kind of worries me in this because she loves that Muay Thai clinch. And if she starts clinching with McMann, that's where she has those opportunities to get those takedowns. So if you're Rosa, I wouldn't even use that at all. Use keep the distance as much as you can. Just outstrike her with the volume. I think last fight she threw 219 strikes in totality, which is just unreal. I think she has an opportunity to stop McMann in this fight. If she stuffs the early takedowns, McMahon's going to keep trying. She's going to exhaust herself. And it's not going to be one of those, one-shot power KOs, but it's going to be one of those McMahon just diving at legs with boom, 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 because she's such a good striker. She has the cardio. She knows how to throw that many strikes and can do it very, very well. So I think it's going to be one of those exhaustion TKOs. I'm looking at an inside the distance bet for Rosa. That's no disrespect for McMahon because she does have a path to victory. I just think Rosa's going to have the ability to stuff him early. McMahon's going to tire herself out, and then that volume's going to be there. So I like Rosa in this matchup. She's a very, very good striker. The Muay Thai worries me a little bit, but I'm going with Rosa.
Yeah, and two things are happening in the live chat right now. Some of you keep saying Sara McMann's 41 years old. She is 41 years old, but age affects your fight style. A 41-year-old grappler is very different than a 41-year-old striker because Sara doesn't need to be fast. She doesn't even need a great chin because she's going to be diving at legs. So I'm not concerned about Sara McMann's age here. If she was a 41-year-old striker, I would be concerned. The other thing that's happening is people saying Angelo doesn't usually miss women's fights. And not to be high on myself, but for some reason, I somehow pick women fights really well. Last week, I got that one fight. I got that one fight wrong. What was her name?
The split decision.
Yeah, Corey McKenna. I got that fight wrong, but if you listen to that breakdown, I was one of the only people in the world talking about how her opponent does not suck. I was like, this is a close fight. Her opponent is very good. You cannot look at the Sijara Eubanks fight.
I said the same thing. I said she had power.
But everybody else was like, she sucks. She doesn't belong in the UFC. And I was like, no,
we were
she
both
doesn't
We were both
suck.
aligned.
Anyway, my point is, even if Sara McMann loses, these odds are wrong. I think these odds are wrong. She has such a clear path to victory. Plus 185 just seems very wrong to me. If Karol Rosa had Tyler Santos' power, 100% these odds are correct, but she doesn't. So
and they've come down a little bit. She's minus 210 now, so they're moving a little bit.
Yeah, because I think people realize she doesn't have knockout power. She does have a ton of volume. If we look at the stats, 7.88 significant strikes landed per minute is a very high number. The average is like 3.
You read that in your mind. You're like, oh shit.
It's a very high number, but it doesn't matter because Sara McMann's not trying to outstrike her. She's just trying to outgrapple her. So anyway, $7,300 with Sara McMann. It's actually tricky. I said I don't love the pick. If she wins, she's worth that for sure because there's going to be a whole bunch of takedowns in control time. And frankly, even if she loses, like when she lost against Juliana Pena, she could still be worth this. She could score 50 points in a loss if she gets a couple of takedowns, solid control time, then ends up getting, stopped or something later. So do you like Karol Rosa at 8,900 though?
That is tough because, if she ends up on her back, who knows? But I think she's going to be able to stuff the takedowns. And I wouldn't be, if I'm Karol Rosa, I think I threaten my own takedowns to kind of throw McMann off and make her think about that as well because she does have some good takedowns on her own. So, it's going to be a close decision. I don't love, if she was like 86, which is probably where she should be, that'd be a little bit better value, but 89 is a little high.
Yeah, and you mentioned she does have, and Karol Rosa, absolutely, I mentioned she's got good offensive takedowns and solid takedown defense. But what happens in these matchups, obviously Karol Rosa knows she's fighting an Olympic wrestler. So what's happening in her head and her camp is, I need to work on my takedown defense. What's not happening is, let me go out there and wrestle. I'm going to take her down. That was the George St. Pierre approach, and that's why he was so successful against much better wrestlers than him. Not many people go out there and wrestle a wrestler. I can almost bet my life Karol Rosa is not going to initiate takedowns. She's not preparing that way. She's just Olympic wrestler. I better work on my takedown defense, and I guarantee that's her whole camp. Anyway, we're somewhat aligned with the insight. We are on opposite sides of the pick. Monkey Knife Fight's interesting because 118 strikes is very high. What do you think of that?
Probably less.
I think it's more or less. Because I do think Sara McMann gets some takedowns and she'll be on top. She's not a submission. She's usually just looking for control and ground and pound. I think it's more less for sure because I do think Karol Rosa spends some time on her back. So I don't think she's getting to 118, even though she does have, right now her numbers are very high because she's not getting taken down. She's not really getting controlled. So I do think even if she wins, there'll be some takedowns. So I like more or less with Monkey Knife Fight. Check that out at WeWantPicks.com/MKF. And go get ahead and get your $50 free at WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our 5 betting partners. Make a deposit. Let us know after you do. And we send you $50 as a thank you.